next session, we can bring it to a halt, because our revenues are down so low, we may not be able to proceed with some of these. But I really think, like Obama, Kitzhaber will bankrupt his state, if he has to get what he philosophically wants. So that's my spiel for why we have to get Republicans in there. If we do not, buckle your seatbelts, because it's going to be a really rough ride. And the other thing, that it comes back to, well, the Democrats will tell me, well, we can't deficit spend in Oregon, so it's not like the federal government. Baloney, we can't deficit spend, we bond everything. We're bonded out 30 years. When Peter Courtney pushed through the stimulus package for $700 and some million, for the session before last, 30 million of that went to a new college campus building at Western Oregon University where Peter Courtney's employed. The rest of the 77 million was smoke and mirrors to keep anybody from noticing what he had done with the building. Part of that, the only thing I got in my district of that $77 million stimulus, and part of it might have been I don't have a good attitude toward Peter Courtney, so he wasn't bending over backwards to help me. But I got new carpeting for the State Forestry building in Dallas. So I went out and asked him, what's going on here? Because it's a fairly new building. And we don't need new carpeting. Didn't need new carpeting. There was some wear in the heavy traffic areas, like under some of the desks where people shuffle their feet. They didn't ask for new carpeting. It came down in the governor's package and Peter Courtney's package. But they got their new carpeting as part of the package. You know what the sense is of bonding carpeting to be paid for the next 30 years? In 5 years, you're going to do new carpeting, and you're still paying for the stuff you ripped out. If that's the kind of nonsense that's going on. We paid on a 30-year bond to remove moss from roofs. We paid to paint some state buildings. We paid to replace some window frames. It's all common, ordinary maintenance stuff is bonded out 30 years. So don't let anybody tell you we don't deficit spend, because we're putting it on bonds, credits, and credit cards. So it's the same thing as deficit spending. This last time I was buoyed by Wheeler coming in, who's a pretty good business Democrat. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about him as treasurer. And he frankly told the governor, you can't bond anymore. You're at bonding capacity. Any more bonding and you destroy the state's credit rating. So now they're trying to figure out a way to do some different kinds of bonding. You know, it's not one. We can't bond the normal way. What else can we bond? But anyway, I would issue the warning, work extra hard for Republicans, because if we don't get an element of control, then we have to get the governorship in 2 years. Any additional time spent with Democrats in that office has a lot of influence. Anything we pass in the legislature, if we were totally Republican, the governor just vetoes it. So that's my solution. Thank you very much.
Any questions?
Yes.
Are there any questions?
Just a quick one, for what it's worth. The only thing I take issue with is your characterization of the ocean as flat.
Well, okay.
You haven't been out there.
I have been out there when the boat was doing this all the time.
I heard that, I just kind of smiled to
My point is,
myself.
there's
I know,
no mountain
you're
scenery.
right.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
If I'm going to take somebody on a scenic tour, it won't be 20 miles off the coast. You know? You're right, I take that.
Do you have any polling or projection of how the House is going to do?
It's going to be very, very close.
Is it?
Last polling I saw, we're likely to lose a couple, maybe 3 seats in the Portland area. It's looking 50-50-ish for the Junction City seat, and a couple of others outlying. Joe Missionary is looking very good. But the seats that look like we might take them from the Democrats are right at 50-50.
Oh, yeah.
And we need Romney to pull ahead and push Republicans to vote. Because right now it's going to be very dependent on what percentage of Republicans in Oregon vote versus what percentage of Democrats in Oregon vote, and whether those people will vote on down the ticket or not.
Oh, yeah.
I feel pretty good. I've got 2 opponents. One's I shouldn't say wacko Democrat, because that makes him sound caustic, but he's a different kind of Democrat, totally in love with the solar industry, and he hasn't done anything. And then we have Alex from down here, that's the Green Party and Workers' Party candidate, and I'm not going to lose any votes to the Family Workers' Party or the Green Party. They won't vote for me because I'm a Republican. You know,
Yeah.
They will never even care to meet me. So I'm hoping that those 2 will duke it out, and the percentage of votes that Alex gets will come away from the Democrats, so I should be okay. And we have a number of districts like that. But the seated in Democrat dominated districts. And I'll be honest with you, that bad press we got out of Palm Springs didn't help any, because the Democrats are running TV ads in the Portland area now against us based on that crazy performance. I'm hoping we come back 50-50 rather than have the Democrats in charge that way. But there's a slight chance we could come back with 1 or 2 Republican seats ahead in the House. I mean, the Senate has a great opportunity right now, right, to
Do they?
become Republican. Yeah, they're looking real good. Anything else? Yeah.
Who would you like to see run for governor?
We don't have anything right now.
You don't have anyone.
As far as I know. There's no one even on the boards. At this
Dennis
point, but
Richardson.
we've got to get somebody, because we're going to be, we have to get somebody, we have to push them very, very hard. I was hoping for Frank Morris, but I think that's off the boards now. Frank decided to retire, so.
He's tired.
But we've got to have somebody, remember that the formula is very clear. We have to be able to attract a majority of Republicans, a majority of independents, and a large portion of Democrats, because we have a Democrat abundance in Oregon. So that's the kind of thing we have to do. And to be very frank with you, we already know that a lot of the far-right conservative Republicans will not support a moderate Republican for governor. So we're going to lose, in order to gain the independents and the Democrats, we're going to lose a bunch of Republicans off the right wing, probably, in doing that. So it's, we aren't setting pretty right now for what we might do. Stella's not doing anything. We've had one woman governor.
Decide in about a year, so we have a whole year, so.
Oh, yes, no, this is, we should know now. This is the spooky part. We should have a couple or 3 people in the vetting process right now. Because this is, to run for governor, you have to be able to almost instantly raise $2 million to kick off the campaign.
Yeah, right.
If you can't do that, it's tough sledding.